That's to say, it and come on, Mpensenpensenmu. So, I feel preparing so that sad news. I hate Ghana na Yehudri. The late Honorable J.B. Dankwa, exactly a year today. You know, Ayaka in Badwam. Sarah didn't cost from Krano. Na Ompekra Papa Emfa Emma. The Busian so yako. A man so yako. Still fresh in our minds. And here was him. I don't know. Madin Kadia told him, said the General Secretary acting and a national organizer for the ruling New Patriotic Party, John Boadu, is my guest. But in Nkomo, and Sana, Ira John Boadu, Yanina Twy and Common. So number I'll be frame 0302 211 up to 4. A lot of releases in Swaba making kind of the amount 0302 211 up to 4. Fabre and also ahead of General Secretary for the ruling party, Nkoma, many also what you do adventure Ediaba. But this is from the National Service Secretariat. Withdrawal of recent staff recruitment for the National Service Scheme. The management of the National Service Scheme has, on the advice of the Minister of Education, withdrawn the National Service staff recruitment, which was done in December 2016 with immediate effect. This decision has been informed by a thorough consideration of violations of due process prior to the recruitment. These included petitions to the Public Services Commission against the recruitment process, upon which the PSC, in a letter dated 16th November 2016, advised the former acting executive director to halt the recruitment process until the matter was properly resolved. This was, however, ignored, and appointment letters were issued to some persons on 15th December 2016. Management therefore wishes to advise persons affected by this decision to look forward to a new opportunity to have the staff recruitment properly carried out. And it's signed, Yusuf Mustafa, Acting Executive Director, National Service Secretariat. I don't know, this a Katawi and Sudiaba. So that's it. Motia, that is what is going into it. But Medin Kaida 0302 211 up to 4. Action, good morning, be my point to say. Kaida Ashaven 0302 211 up to 4. Now also ode a year on some of their brain. Well, Mwana Mubusa a year Abubakar Mohammed. Abubakar, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Min kabi so subi. Yen ko yedin.
So me chia ye General Secretary Jombo me chia pa also Oma me say that year.
Okay.
The one say me tune.
Yeah. Okay. Assembly or
but the me chia say me will have Kakrewa, your constitution at Tamal Hasi.
Okay.
A person can't say, your General Secretary. Yeah, she said, your deputy, regional deputy, regional minister. But Moses.
I see.
Who country and say, and on country, your man paying say, you hear Moses, you hear
I see.
How no more.
Okay, yes, that's it. Good morning, Francis. I to say. Hello, Francis. Good morning. I to say. Francis, good morning. I to say. Well, I'm Francis in your agency on the Ebeka 0302 211 701 Nkosi 4 0302 211 701 up to 4. Apreku, Match up to say. You two are preku.
Yeah. Good. No, you're not so.
Mentio home. Ye no. Ye tell a preku. Miss Mentio who TV so. Casa ye tell.
Yeah, good morning. Come on here, no more demand pay.
Apreku gusu tie ho unfortunately ayen TV no kasa yeah CK good morning apom to say
Uni agoko
ye tie CK
mamitia aye onyami job wedu chairman bebre nijime dia wedi edabwa NPP amayoko no titiu ne Anisha ye was central region ye tane tio nijime dia odi now unia yeda Ghana for mutu abama NPP amayoko na se na yenim se ekwan bia so mbabuni ya haw asia nam so a yede ko to aba ema NPP amayoko eba ye bo shana na do edi hye no yenim se kwa bia so ebebe na ye kan se ye ba sere the pedifo enyama obude bu akwen a dachi no ma Ghana fu nyina ho ato no yenim se obugu so obude gu akwen mu ti gena secretary ebeguna ye was central region ha ma ye di ahoden ni enimdie edi partnership yenim se kwa bia so no oboma ye nsa insifo asma na pe work on that.
Okay, that's a Bernard or drop. Good morning apom to say
Adom boko.
ye tie Bernard
Mpacho, ube katabi na mwana Mpensenpensenmu che.
ye tie Bernard
Adom na moswe.
also a problem ye tie Bernard
Okay. Mpacho, ube katabi na Mpensenpensenmu che.
unfortunately
Hello?
Bernard is said you know
Okay.
ye tie ne kasa 0302 211 Lookman good morning apom to say Lookman
Good morning.
morning Lookman
Yes, sir. My boss. I salute you, my boss.
me too
Kachire, your national secretary, General One, Ura Jombo Bisemi Manachepa.
all right
Na, Nukredi, and some day, it be Koso. Sisia grandpa, Meno, Ekase. Yen Kofobi, ye to be almost so I imagine say. I shan't tell you, ha. And Pennyfo, ya may company for Ura Georgia Shibwati would depend or number one, or Masabo, your first vice, Dr. Rauf, your body dean, Yasabo, your friend say, former Companoti CEO, Dr. Siansari. Yes, it's half wood, or me nipa and no mote Ashanterini Hanuma, or Makumo, Dampany for come on and Grumpona, Moko Coco, and so I point to a eBay. No, sometime we not can when I di entimasre owura John Body on the minister was here yo. It is half way or see your masha here already so. Your mo yes a yam penny south kofu post you actually. Dear Anna your friends your national your general secretary or ye dia pa na say semben Anna sanko for no more e castle already so no. Also abotoye semben ano beka tres afon kakra me bisa secretary no
okay yeah that's CP good morning apom to say Nana to Nana to good morning apom to say Nana to yeah
the American is American. Mr. Secretary, Mr. What should you so for the black at the and the far from him. Chufopaso, yes, they are coming DC or mobile, you imagine. Yakata, General Secretary, said, one more show more, I'm not passing up power. Sansa, Partino. Men are not to we are craft to 1 year sick. Come you soon near the tour. One more shot, your secretary for don't do the department and Yamo. Let's go back to your chairman. And they organize and you to organize and make us all play a party. One man some don't pass what one thousand pounds on the Padiaba. So many money for houses in the Yanida, and to the baby on fire. And you never want grassroots. Young black woman party in Australia, the farm, you see, you know, the man I want you to do. The member party, so me, I judge you, I won't crash it. See, I really am more executive, and I chairman, I may just see.
Okay.
Executive from one party, what you for class.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Honorable Prince, good morning. I want to say.
Ama nyamia domu na uso wapo mboko de.
Nyamia domboko.
Ede nyamia sipa nyamisha no jumapa udimo mangana.
Yes, that's it, Honorable Prince.
Omai mamifa kwenye usuna mefanchia NPP chairman wole mbele. Chairman Kenya. Ade dodo na afene chairman Kenya. Ni modemba oboye obo amana na do danko ekufado. Eka ka turo ne bro naka eja akomu yi yewura makofu ahwefo chairman modern born wo dey yes adwuma na nyamisha ne pa omaye mini look man be kasai efa ba ye kan say yewura sampan se ka nanado danko ekufado emwa no nanko wonya appointment ni bi enka nyamobo ananka nyamo nwasoso se look man be kasa but eye na omaye ye dey abete na ne cha no unze wo hwe dwomro ase a Exactly for 1992, NDC, NFD, Kunya, or Hasta Bepim, 2012, and a branch be a friend honorable politician, a branch put to a small boy, was solely and was a study away. NPP Piano, obey Blakey Sap Blake to know. Or my a branch starting a campaign, never for you. Then a branch could also wait my, you must say, at my city, no. When I'm crashing, what tone and now that way, Fado, and what tone or no so. And then crashing for the 7 pages, almost a tenant will say, tell you, a plantain in summer walkano, a idea, I say, external shed near Sonic shed. And Panya me a blante would doom, and what may break his record we. Estimate Mr. Tell you, NDC, dear Kuno, Ama, honorable police, Tima Bedia Kunano, better than another damn Fado. When I see a man and deputy minister, there's only me man. Because any son of so MPP party, no what Jomra say. The player party for the honorable police, deputy minister. Tadi other mamma, 2020, no, or what to mention the day. I had vote to be our Jomra say. Because we have Jomra say, honorable, you can say, New York crime, while your deputy minister, or Messiah minister, our minister of education. Okay.
Good morning, Christopher. Good morning. I'm saying. Good, Christopher. It's you. Yeah, Christopher. It's you.
Yamisha need Jumadia would be the my Ghana. Michia, a General Secretary, Honorable Don. Boydu. Na me fa sa ko jan so nchia me boss Sami Ewuko. Na omange me pa cho se odi ye secretary din kom na me person. Ti do here by the secretary din pa cho aya na ba manate.
Ola dey break o say.
Ma cho aya na mama ye general secretary wate. Se necessary. Na omu school aya owo President Mahama Nabe so community nurses ne head assistant for the movie school 2 years. 2 years of motive now. And before election, a release clearance at the Mahomo. But as I say, we are from so I'm calling that clearance, that's why I say I'm going to change next month. I said a health ministry, your mother Dakar. It's your good reference and advice for change. Platform is not I'm with the okay. General Secretary said, next is no motive, I am on 2014 to 2015, no motive in Pacho. I'm going to health ministry, I'm going to
okay, that's it. Lizzie, good morning.
Good morning.
Good, it's you, Lizzie.
It's
you, Lizzie.
Yeah, me work at church. Rajon, what do you say? Yes, sir. Among grassroots, we don't want a situation that they will suffer another political disaffection from the grassroots and on the cost of your downfall. deɛ mewɔ ka kyerɛ no.
Okay, yeah, that's a political disaffection. The ladies who work on no. Finally, MFA friend you try to cry, and then we move on with our conversation. Good morning, Apom Tiseng. Hello, good morning, Apom Tiseng.
Hello.
Good morning, Apom Tiseng. Abushan it you.
The Casa Free Kubisias.
Oh, Casa Free.
Good.
Good. You too.
Master American is General Secretary. Waba Uti as well. I am price constituency. Yeah, about that Wabano.
Oh, quite unfortunate. I'm saying, yeah, what man so what's your car? Pacho Casa.
Me Pacho, Master American is and price constituency. That's what. Hello.
Meet you.
Employers who are charming. Now, party, no more. I have your party. The best is General Secretary. Hello.
Meet you.
I get young word to say, you know, the employers who are charming, one of our contest meeting. Also, when you know one, Nanabu and pointing on here and price constituency.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. Yes, that's it. You're going to try one by a bar. Yeah, try and come on so. Chairman Yamankwa, I will praise our Council of State member for Ashanti region. Chairman, good morning. And I baby will be a Yakwaba, Yaba, yeah, try you meeting so. Well, Yasaba, just about some 15 more minutes to wrap up Adom Mpensenpensenmu on Badwam on Adom TV, multi-TV. So Sam H, still looking forward to say General Secretary acting Anafe, National Organizer for the ruling NPP, Babetnase. 1 or 2 issues into Yebekoso. Hopeful, say yes, Ebeka. But meanwhile, probably comes as a sad news. But this administration so feels it is a correctional measure, and then there's an opening for things to be done rightly. National Service Secretary terminates appointments of December 2016 recruits. The management of the National Service Scheme has withdrawn some staff recruited last December with immediate effect. The decision was upon the advice of the Education Minister, Dr. Matthew Poku-Prempeh. This, according to a statement signed by Yusuf Mustafa, acting executive director of the service, followed thorough consideration of violations of due process prior to the recruitment. It said the considerations included petitions to the Public Service Commission against the recruitment process, which the PSC, in a letter dated November 16, 2016, advised the former acting executive director to halt the recruitment process until the matter was properly resolved. This was, however, ignored, and appointment letters were issued to some persons on December 15, 2016, the statement said. However, it said persons affected by the decision, however, persons affected by the decision should look forward to a new opportunity to have the staff recruitment properly carried out. Doing our best to get to a national service. And we all know this matter relating to General Secretary, Campaign Coordinator for the NDC, Yewura Kofi Adams. There is this thing here. The Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service is reportedly investigating Kofi Adams, national organizer of the opposition National Democratic Congress, over the fleet of vehicles retrieved from his residence last week. And it's being speculated that he's struggling with documentations regarding ownership of the vehicles. And it goes on and on and on. But this assurance from Nanado, His Excellency, probably is what we are concentrating. We can't fail Ghanaians, President tells ministers. President Akufo-Addo on Tuesday swore in his second batch of ministers and reminded them of their duties to protect Ghana. And the ministers swore oath of allegiance, of office and secrecy, and received their instruments of appointment. They included Dr. Antonio Sakoto, in charge of monitoring and evaluation, Dan Kwaku Botwe, regional reorganization and development, Professor Kwabna Frimpong Boateng, science, technology and innovation, John Peter Amewu, lands and natural resources, Otiko Efisa Jaba, gender, children and social protection, and Ignatius Bafo Ewa, employment and labor relations. The rest are Kwaku Furi Esiama, transport, and Joe Gatti railways development, Kwesiam Mwakwanta, roads and highways, Esla Usu Eko for communications, Joseph Kufi Ada, sanitation and water resources, and Samuel Ata Achia. These are so far the Nadu Asmawaka. We are unable to fill Ghanaians until once, I don't know. General Secretary Atanasi Ebedi Yenkomo, a lot of your text messages and so about as to questions are Mopese. Questions, a lot of questions. Namo somebody about Mopese Ibusa the Emamo, and then some of them says, let me read some of the issues. What's the motive behind the withdrawal of Woyomi's case by Martin Amidu? Has he done? Did he do that based on anger? I think he must know that anybody who uses his or her left finger to point to the house end up getting disappointed. Alaji Wulipi Ewefikum. A lot of your messages about Secretary Atanasi acting, national organizer, and Tinewa to come on. So, good morning, Secretary. I hope you say. You better come on. But very unusual. Your time.
My mistake. I'm 7:30. I'm sorry, but so sorry. I say we also responded to calls, so responded to it.
NPP, no matter saying.
Oh, so far, dear, I think so good. To Tony, I won't say 1 month there. I'm saying around 1 month.
Yeah.
I did a buying a share, sir. Never say a tutu. Now, to me, a crab buying him, a taking control of governance. Now, yeah, about time, Yahweh about a buying. Until we also a boy buying, now, in terms of appointment, in terms of how to put our superstructure together.
Party play a role in appointing people to set the country.
Obviously, because president or the Nipa now are appointing Befifa or the Befi party
with more consent.
Obviously, or the Befi party until that or say party no. If you are also trying to baby so or say all these things and yeah cannot and yeah ministers are same penny yeah can. I was announcing and I will say yeah appointment to MMDC MNDs no yeah idea and also here president appointing mum there, but in consultation with the party and a lot of stakeholders involved Now I will say able more than yeah in the show. They will say how very soon MMDC is for us. That's DC for.
But that's where you have the challenge because calls are before you're coming. The last probably caller, Lizzie, where do you see any political disaffection? Say one touchy base in terms of the grassroots, it will cost your party NPP. Is that the case? When your signals be sir, or court you for so they just called him. They are looking for a particular candidate. And so they full letter with all the executive, conscious executives. I can say they are for a specific candidate. And all those things. I shall say a unity, so these challenges are going to come on.
The thing is, I will say at the onset, say, authority to appoint MMDCs, and even for us, just for about 1.5 years, because we are moving into an open elections for MMDCs throughout the country. In the say last one pony, but authority president Now president decided say consult to party for consult to other stakeholders in taking these decisions. And the Minjinis will be all right per se, say an inherent right to demand say me this year and could be that say you understand. I think that must be clear, because idea a right be a war
even where constituency chairman and all executives are signing to that effect.
Say say constituency chairpersons, the constituency executives rights on by advise the government. Because some party na have power. No party na have power, and I say be you be now have a boy in the running of the administration of the districts and now metropolis now. Now who can say by advice. But I'll say say advice. So advice. And Minjini says who strong points considering the dynamics on the ground. Now who raise the points, in appropriate manner will be empty. But sometimes when I say no constituency in terms of the Omope MP diafan, Himfu diafan, and all that. And I think that in all this, the TBN decision must be made. And no. But Minjini is take a decision. Any decision for what down the pay. Okay. They also what you say. There's something even in the new act insist say MMDCs that was any a first degree, for instance. And you won't say Biana on call for and nipa root man and maybe an crabby. But nipa why party, Juma and all that. That one I leave to the presidency to decide say whether we should repeal that particular clause, because Minjini is even president to cry constitution and sister also cry first degree na canton parliament now go in DC and also by hard one other thing I because ultimately that particular act will be repealed, because who could be able for general elections, normal standing elections and then I'll be to me I say answer now to me standing election now cry first degree. Another thing I think that the earlier we repeal it, but for now as we speak now that is what the law is. Now say to me repeal answer appointed MMDCs now. Not just say we have to go by the law.
But it's coming across that this present executives I had to say the more disassociating myself from this government to just, is it to whip the government into line or to make sure the government never has a more namode or more about power? Is that the case?
As for more namode or more about power, I need the omunim dada. And there's no point at all, because the idea omunim. But there can't be honestness. You need a strong party. You need a party between because we went to the people of our country with a manifesto of the new patriotic party. Say you be XYZ. It is a 4 years neba. And your government they be bu akonta. Government be bu na akonta anko. Party no so be bu na akonta. Nti the TBA na was a party to me enya akonta pabu. Was a party ni to me bu akonta ni ya on shenechi. Nti ehadea me jidi say. And even beyond that,
yeah, but witness instances, a party might disagree with government on certain policies and decisions. Is that the case?
Obviously, any day, the TBI.
And yes, I'm also ready. I'm a party now.
Nema, Ebekoswa, M1.
So the party took a position on Otiko Officer Jaba. What is the party's position on a minority for show or Muya say they will not endorse Otiko Officer?
Omo endorse and said the intira. Said then. Chairman, didn't know Omo endorse because alcohol. Nipo no beside the question worse offender than the question he is even asking. Now, as a party person, no, I get you a party, my campaign, no. Now, honor, because I apologize for it. I think, say, you're taking them for granted. And it is because people go there, position kakra or painty, you be saying, oh, apologize for what? I think if you go there to apologize on something, I want kasa ujidi awaka. And yeah, also apologize. So for now, apologize. It should be a basis for not even qualifying you, because you cannot be a principal person. You understand? Because nipa no say can we be saying no say yes, maka. Me can based on XYZ no kind of so no. Also jitum say no credit I feel problem anything.
Minority feel say it's a question of disrespect.
Disrespect for who?
Sitting president. Describing him with certain words and adjectives.
So who describe president say I'm not. It doesn't matter. What is important is that so describe president say based on the fact say nipa no president no say or a president for all but ofi baby ofi no o hwe ohia how they to so throughout the country. 3 northern regions edi akoten edi kind 3 northern regions aba me Chrome Central region na say sa na tia na ye di sika eto ho say for develop sa area na yantumi embu akonta power ho na sika no ko didi individuals president no some of them na for na niema na nye trimode na eden who can we are we didn't panatem.
But the party seems to be talking too much. That is administration seems to be talking too much. Debia we are cars 2 and 5 cars here where I say
talking too much.
No, I'm saying the party is always saying this SIC we see Cocoa Board I say Upunia I say. Is that what Ghanaians expect from Mokikachiana? If that is the case, why is it that actionless? Is that the exposure?
They're all kind of the thing is say what you talk about. You need to give the state of affairs of the country as you inherited. And no, dear, you cannot run away from it. And you are going to see more of issues a chire bibi ejina.
Is it not confusing? No, especially for Vice President building a net 13.9, they actually ESL for 5 million, you 8.9, 3.9, and you say
what is confusing?
But you have power. So what is the reality about the two?
As a man, what is confusing? If you allow yourself to be confused, there as you don't get here by kind, no, say 3 point, and see this are dollars.
3.5 million.
What kind?
The crater. I have a copy of the crater. I will just release it.
Currency vision.
But your quarter, I'll release right now for you.
Until how do you get confused about that? Because if you allowed yourself to be confused, I think say proper documentation and no AESL for Sika Omochia so far on the building. It's available when you are there or say a prayer. Until make catch say the TBR no state of affairs of our country, in terms of assets, I inherit any liabilities. The TBR near the betuja. Near the tuja, no just say kasa too much. I say anything, say you all memoha. Na ye ne IMF, enya 3-year program. 3-year program, no 7 convergent benchmarks omo agree on and until ye course our program no. Ye ntimi achieve last year ye failing ni nyina. Na failing ni nyina. No ye mfa tuja ye be den. Based on that, and I know near my support, we share support na my na. Ye pa na. There are some commitments in areas Oman taking into consideration based on agreements in their which amount to around 7 billion Ghana cedis. Now no pointed out and I just all complaining and I said, you understand? One Nipanako program or say by the end of 2016, budget deficit, or say, yeah, best 5%. And only more agreement am I. By 2016, the best 11.6%. And on can not just all complaining. Cash balance at the end of 2016, I was say 2 billion Ghana cedis. You understand? By 2016 end, a negative 4 billion.
Okay, so what do you seek to achieve with these revelations?
And yet we seek to just get the Ghanaian people to understand. and get even the IMF themselves, because say only me be a program. Now monitor me debia. Now 7 of the benchmarks are I agree say or say to me achieve you 0/7. Oh, either one set target in a year. And I me na manye me juma ye and I am me nyina ya nyade. You understand? So it is not a burden of the NDC government alone. It's a burden on the partners involved in taking the decision. It's either the decision was based on false data and false information. We are sitting down hard facts with them for them to understand. You see that? Because look, if you have then they be me baha me catch it. There because na me boa. Because as we speak now, ute salaries, ne interest payments, any principal that's all. If you are internally generated income, sika kaya 0.073%. That is 99.7% of our internally generated income. No, you the kichia, you interest. Ye de chia principal asan. Ya Bobby Siana said that we do NDC for Bekokra no na ye ka de no omo ekoje bisia editua bisia anamebwa. They go in for a friend say Eurobond. No more use Eurobond de tua bisia no. Nti edu pebezo a say yan dream beyond the yekuya. And bomodern and regularize our tax system, especially our porter. We're going to be in serious problems as a country. Let me tell you. And we're not BBPA. Almost important nema about me. By some design, they have a way of dealing with customs. Said that secure also mutia because that's how the law is. If you have the perishable goods about secure also tia also ebia 500,000. You have to raise this 500,000 within the short time. Ebia want to me raise it. Imrana man say also to me GBB na you to me reduce suma na. There are some people are omojuma enono conniving with custom officials, agents and all that. The ebeto a friend say Kennedy Bahada sticker or the better him, and I leave that with him. But you can see the amount of money echo waste by a particular agent of our country. A particular agent who within just 6 months, no, you are talking about a shortfall of close to 37 million. One agent. Close to 37 million. Just because net system notice take advantage of the system. Shortfall no be idea no. Now share rate no credit demand pana container no to 3,500 on the container. Now the papers the guma na mframa na mo de buy. So now they all any genuine business to make sure say or produce. Because ebi only sa network in this. Near the taxes ne gunu su bebre. No ontumi nye adwuma. Nti no doubt say your industry, your manufacturing sector almost virtually non-existent. Now how can you run the country such way? Nti na just say na say bosomenso na mintia taxes. Bosomenso utia taxes ajiji ade tuaka no utia interest. Now Bobby say because there's nothing that you can do. There is nothing they could do. The Ombeya say about proposal. Who say your debt to GDP ratio? Almost you are 73%. 73, yeah, 73% of GDP. Me catch it say threshold na ye canon, na 60%. 60% and they do 73%. Adia ye bo modern ye by the year 2000. Now 189% of GDP. Ye nkakran. Ye be kono under 30%. And it's because you are not thinking outside the box. Because the system now say a corrupt system. No? And I'm telling our people. So obi ebehum now because of one or two things now Ujin say or wow as an individual.
Now one you're careful. Now uko die chira. Yeah, be ma watch it.
Sure.
I'm telling you. Yeah, be ma watch it. And in this case, now, who the next week say friend say Kennedy ba or nobody in common. In this case, no, there are some few people just maybe they were giving wrong information and certain decisions were taken.
So the party's position say, oh, your party, but maybe they decided anything.
Now, did this anymore? I do 4 years, never then work on tapa. My child said the space for any development, you know, very close.
Yeah, that's about
yes, so no.
As a we are tasked some briefly space via party, but me young could be or NDC Nigeria, maybe because maybe who job would mobile na fan to ye, mammy. One of more bemna, hey, be a man. Maybe one of my idea.
Oh, there be, sir, when young co NDC. And they said me what way, me bates, and some of the companies, and MMDAs now, juma. Ebia omo a supply be genuine because the access system you know omo checking no be who say oh me supply me ye ni ehun krata ni hwe na oni obi nkan no wonye benye se nipa na ya ma no sole source contract dey be cost 5 cedis ya dey man be say 20 Ghana cedis na no be who announce who dey chire because wadam for minji ni say sa na pese run no man. So, and make catch though. Say, I'm sure Sadia and so on because they are making Nipa Baku 37 million within 6 months. And to say, calculate Nipa Baku in a year. You are talking about Nipa Baku, no? Sika, Ashray or Mino, your best 70 million Ghana cedis. You are 70 million Ghana cedis. You are talking about close to you are talking about close to $20 million. $20 million nipa baako. It is asike etumi eba a minor futuro mu a. Nka ye revenue no enkosoro. Ekosoro a the space a ye here for development no. You betumi enya sa sika ndia develop na ya nkobo besia na no so ambe dane asem
okay,
ntiminia dey ka no simple. And nanado when you can also pesca their member bem koye your friends a business. Me say me private business. And I'm here in kakra. No one ever so aye. Me bem because one, you're very careful. This thing I hear about 200 cars.
Well, because
is there the need for even government to issue statement stating say
tax force or matter?
No, is there the need?
There's no need.
Is that the need for government to issue statement to prompt and call for a buying cars warm horse fako?
But transition man collaborate am in inventory.
Na said you the man na abehwe.
Mo wa kokko check here say.
Unso the man na ohwe. Until say ube full control because there was no point say transition boy am for power and share on sano. Ube bisa questions bebre. Open them na waje because documents be ba on sem. Wo na me chere. And beyond that, beyond the cars, no, uko cantonment labon in any man. Oh, dying is you are buying dying in any man. Obi o honma, waji dying baako ha. Wasaji baako ewo cantonment. Not the wahano or the man in wafa. Some of them even high the buildings out. If you go into some of these things, no, the rots you see, just a tiase. Minia, the entina ubedi president or memoha. Answer na be president apart from coup d'etat Rollins by 32 now no afi no bonebra no and with the democratic dispensation answer na won decide say ubeda a flag bearer of your party not the other ones or be to me former party within 3 weeks not a flag bearer no but you are talking about established
parties,
credible political parties, New Patriotic Party, National Democratic Congress. Answer now rising through the ranks. Now decided I may contest elections internally in my party. The cost involved in doing that, putting your campaign team together. Sika obe say electoral commission presidential can you have 50,000 Ghana. Now we now be the president. Kofia ya say who need dying to yenko si dying ma and I die out no ofa. I say the same. Say, catch them, say, Utuwe. I said, me too. Now my baby president in whatever years to come. Now me need die with him. Now say me running for 4 years and now 8 years. And also no just say better not say arrangement say a die with him no menfa.
Wabasuma man into quite a issue.
Sabi me mame or besuma mine no. As a nurse, a riser be midwife. In the process, no, when you have problems, on a patient cost struggle, when you have spinal problem, you may don't put no tiase. You understand? Every man a pension and do 300 Ghana. On some of mine, Obi are some of mine at some level. But when you have privilege, man, a bro, so men any brady greedy emblem. Because I can't see why you should even contemplate, say, what riser be do president. Now we are kwa your mom 10 cars. Your mom would be parking cars.
See, yeah, mom, brother, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. You disagree to that?
A common sense. Yes, I disagree. A common sense. Oh, my, no way. Ubejia tumpa say. Also be true democratic system way. It will be the president. Now or kwa. Yeah, man, 10 cars or qua, young for diamond. The next time, son, the president, my mind. What Lucy or who kinds of San Babion. And I'm about to be dime. You understand? Now, on mine, and I, on my assassin was a man, a moment creating a village for ex-presidents or former presidents and vice presidents. Is not the case. Some established democracies are here who are air customer. Your workplace for president, say Mubedi president, I just say I'm Timusi Dynamo Cotton. David Cameron, or decided say, or defended Brexit and ye. Yeah, I did change house immediately. The following day, pick up business here, or no Uncle Sassan in the morning, a year, no more, no more, no, I don't know. Now then, a person practicing democracy in Libya. Yeah, dear. Oba, yes, Bibiama. But you as a supervisor, superintendent of some of these rota, a course. Say, ye lose over 37 million Ghana cedis by one individual just within 3-4 months.
Agreed. And I said, loopholes the system.
Loopholes our system name.
And I'm buying the also. I
know, because there are a lot of people they are in possession of government vehicles and stay in government houses
as we speak now.
First of Nissan come or cry in the first place. So, and he said, and no, ma, yes, it's a bema. Because almost on Ghana for na so she. On is a quawe on ye Juma bemo, and so baby or tini cow cranny. And then yes, the same one. Why don't I also hijack it?
But a 205 cars are missing. Then Obi one who be and you say na chop as your chino. Is it not the case? If that is the case, 205 a banker your cars. Say oh baby. I am born de aba say yes rompo abro some part of ya de brena fankwa. And they say a criminal or that should not be the case.
Yes say you chill kwa or say a charge you. So number of days, months are car
to formula $300 every day.
Any say be do hon. I think we need to set an example and making an example because I end this you
NPP probably if you are also in opposition because you do a lot of critique and that time I'm more opposition which I am also looking at people like
a lot of critique check it tapes are any programs are jumbo dry over the years
on finance especially a lot of inputs
yes and now checking in say me obi ye fi abem obi grab bank car the air kojima me ba complaining for what I thought say John Mama Nkasa the ex-president this thing about cars and some obi ejuma or public sector now a minister now away now or Kofi cars 2 years your Tom man on any I'm so you should directive says hard and get him and I'm
correct.
Dentina eguso elkoso. Dentina why? So you say you know why? It gets public officials to be comfortable. Instead of them, say juma now housing system, affordable housing, are available for all. No, onim so okwa obenya dainti emfa ne ho. Nka senye saa, denti na obi a start affordable houses. Bebre, not for 8 years, no, and this to be incomplete.
Okay, yeah, sure we answer my breath here in wrap up. There's a fear. Say Yasha say your national service will be 205. Let by no can due process and engagement. There's a fear. Say mobile almost all the institutions and agencies so acquire sa check, you know. Ama unia emrane be so na biane ye yiwasi about.
No fear woman is there. Fear wom any day. Yeah, oh my run almost every day. Now you talk about we. Now we didn't just
after December 7th.
Mrano so say a month before say beto abano. Or say handing over notes. Ready. Handing over to Penia ye no so be hand over. It do ni ho kwan say ya to about we na afi na okoje sa documents na fi ni ho. It is the mere fact said the former chief of staff as I call the handing over man or no as I call J document first of all is wrong. It is 1 month before no we are handing over notes in year inka issues about employment issues about promotion thank you baby. Then after that no after 3 days are buying be fee no na afei na oye recruitment afei na oye employment afei na nkofo a ebi omo ye temporary oye omo permanent afei na nkofo omo appointment oye sa em say when you so discretion no papa it obi a obe call ministry bia no there's the need for you say me catch you no you just have to know the state of affairs as at the time because we bu one konta so there are a lot of them we are aware. All of a sudden, you're pushing a fear, we are question. And then you answer when you won't country, but you be
yes,
yeah, Sebi. And for us, yes, I Nisa Obi.
I heard me, but a money is Obi and us and near 4 being too much. I shall by be you
need some Obia. But you have a opportunity. Yes, so that should be a before.
Okay.
Now you so call for no akoyesa and serve as deterrent. Right. Now we are public official. Mijiri say ni say esi hwa so besides step process. No ya there na nya. Now who so no yes, but you need to let the person answer for it.
All right.
No onya fear, e wa fear. And fear born out of
so
of
proper critique starts 6 months for the New Patriotic Party. And then Ghana under the watch of His Excellency John Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. 6 months enough to start say you see the enjamo na munkwaa up to 6 months.
Oh, there be ehun yin say obejai no aye 6 months. And ya wo bibia o say o kan. There's no point in allowing
our expectation of the budget. The budget is hopeful. And as ebe complaining say you say no my ye and ye ho akire sika sem conform into the petrol ye because what tuma say the year tutuma yanka wasi.
Mo no ya sometimes ye kind budget so amoso mo nche budget.
E say ye tell us so
that be nya but mo nche budget na won kan. Budget bia o ya we review of the previous.
It's ever previous no.
We review of the previous year. Target,
is the previous supposed to in this case in previous year changeover of government so who called
previous year 2016 so it will be review of 4 years on certain benchmarks now wait to me who say these were the benchmarks, these were the targets, these were the actuals.
I think in crunch
do you baby answer what this year no revenue e pese enya no say the e pese
ye pese tia say e be in crunch ya na
a total relief for the Ghanaian people
e be capture ya nurse for the teacher for allowance
I know the entem cry I know the entem because idea in our view no me ngini say they are making so support we cry difference no cry 37 teacher for
a lot of WhatsApp messages and text messages about unfortunately said the general secretary that is not him. Sometimes you need to understand the situation. Yeah, that's it. Say even short notice is OJ Bra Obaya. Yeah, they say when one of the finest time now properly we deal with the party because the impression out there is now that more just to critique the nipa mo de omagina manam e wa abem na e make sure say promises and pledges ni na no bibia be kama zongo fund restoration of allowance one district one factory and then each constituency to $1 million na fe Ghana for sitting na yi die etimi akoso no ya free any high health insurance ya kaimo ya free any high si ehwe agric ya kaimo mechanization ya kaimo ya free any high si ehwe tie da se yobodu ajibre na edi komwana
me jidi se mo ni de mo mfe ni ye because nanado very open and transparent governance na ya sure say bibia be bia akoma pa ene adwempa na de be the system no de ete no mo be boaye because say mo boaye in terms of say niema enye a ekoso mo be boa na yetumi name and shame one shey ya niema enko ni sibi epe no and we are not going to condone and shield anybody but at the end of the day you know Ghanaian people and look at the massive change the Ghanaian people were clear in their decision for the first time we are 1 million vote Nanado Kodi president
well David Amotoaba national executive
we have started process now this year from polling station, electoral area, constituency, region, external branches. It should be by close of the year, no. Or see a way up to the regional level.
All right.
National level, no, the first quarter of 2018, no. Me say no. Yeah.
Okay, so the first quarter, I made a chair when it's on. Clearly, he will be seated on that seat. General Secretary, ruling New Patriotic Party, John Bodu. Moamunim. But a lot of questions that were high say busa the brain tea on franchise I made a chair from acting to general Ebebaso. Yeah, that's a John. Ubi PBI, Ibuni name. It's the other one. If you have a quarter of like over.